We are back again with another unboxing. This has been a really exciting run for me. Keeping on the Mandalorian kick, we now have IG-11. This is the IG-11 1/6 scale from Hot Toys. It's the standard version. I believe there was a deluxe that came with more, and I think it came with a little Grogu. I have a lot of Grogus. I don't want to say too many Grogus. I think it was a great character. It was a good way to get people into The Mandalorian. I know it's a show that's really good for casual fans as well, which is great. The more the merrier, get everyone in there. But I didn't need to pay more to get something that would have just stayed in the box anyway. At the risk of sounding too much like a broken record, look at that box work. Again, it is not a picture from the show, it is a picture of the actual statue. Obviously, atmospheric lighting and blaster effects added in afterwards, but man, it looks good. There he is, looking really cool. The detailing on it's really awesome. I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought this would be maybe a simpler one, but you can see all the wires and everything. Everything's 3D. We're definitely going to pop him out and get to it. I just wanted to see how he was packaged. Very, very well done. It's hard to see what's a joint and what's a detail on the body. The fingers move individually. Very cool. The head swivels, and even the individual rows of the head. The knees, the ankles pivot multiple directions. Wow, they did it. I'm actually pretty impressed with the amount of articulation they put into the droid. Comes with a set of 6 batteries. That's going to be interesting to see where they go and what they do. I can't exactly get it to focus where I want, but the articulation is very cool. The fingers move individually. There's these rubber gaskets. You can kind of see me squeezing it in on the elbow joints so you don't see them. The wrist joints move. The head, I thought this was cool. Independent movement on the different pieces of the head. I mean, obviously it's true to the series. It almost seems like overkill for something that's going to go up on a shelf, but I'll take it. I'll take the extra care rather than them not caring enough. The knees do move. It's going to be hard for me to do it with one hand, and the ankle doesn't just articulate forward and back. On this, it can go left and right. It looks like they took all the pivots and movements of the droid in the series and then put them onto the figure. You can even get rotation in the waist here. It doesn't rotate further up, but very cool. Very, very cool. I'm really impressed. I thought this was going to be the most basic one that I have, and there wasn't going to be a whole lot to it, but they're delivering. I'm loving this. I did actually have to look at the instructions for this one. The head lights up as well as the chest self-destruct, which I absolutely have to do. It was a great running gag in the series, and it absolutely pays off with his character arc. There's the self-destruct chest piece on the right and his bandolier, which we are going to attach now. The headpiece is magnetic. It swivels off so it doesn't just fall off every time the house shakes. Just trying to do this right. Feed it over the arm fully. The open side goes around the front. And pass it over the head without snapping off his eyes. There we go. It's a shame this kind of detail in the back is going to be covered up, 1, by the bandolier, and 2, because it's in the back and it's going to be on a shelf, but it's just so cool. The bandolier fabric, I think it could be a little bit better. It feels like something that would be on, I don't know, maybe like a G.I. Joe of this scale. It doesn't quite feel Sideshow Collectible, but that's my only small complaint in this whole figure so far. Otherwise, I'm really into it. Luckily, I saved this little mini screwdriver when I changed out the battery in my wife's 3DS so she could play Ocarina of Time on the flight to Nepal, so we can use that to put the batteries into IG-11 here. I have carpal tunnel in both my hands, so it's a little bit tough to do these fine motor skill things, but people with regular hands will be just fine. Takes 3 batteries in each thing, and I don't know how I'm going to get them in there. Can't really record it as I'm doing it. You can see there's 2 batteries there and the spring holding it. Luckily, the spring's not ultra powerful, so I can slide them in without the thing falling over. You could probably hear my cat's collar. Whenever there's packaging, he just has to get that plastic in his mouth and try to choke himself to death for some reason. I believe one of them went in wrong. Oh boy. I always think these unboxing videos are going to be quick, and I guess shame on me at this point. I dropped a battery in the carpet, so probably gonna be a huge chunk here to cut out. Oh, that's cool. That is so cool. That was worth the lightning shooting through my knuckles to get this in. That was so awesome. You'll see in just a second. Little things like that, if the cat gets his hands on them, he'll run off with them, and we have found nests of his stolen goods in the house before. We'll do a big reveal at the end. You know, we're going to go without the bandolier. I know he wore it when he was introduced in the series, and he looks cool with it, but it's covering up a lot of the detail that I like better, and I'm not super impressed with this one piece. So we're going to put that back in the box. We got 3 more to put in the chest piece, and then we can set him up and check out the lights. It's a small detail, but it is a welcome one. I just hope these batteries last a long time. I really don't know how often I'm going to have it on, how well you're going to be able to see it in the background of the videos that I do record in the office here. But if you can, they'll be on. He is ready to kill himself if he fails his primary objective. We're going to get him fully set up and do the big reveal with the close-ups. I feel like I talk like Jeff Goldblum when I do these, so I give myself times to perform the action that I'm doing as I talk, and that's something that I'm going to work on. Even as I'm explaining that I'm going to work on that, I did it again, so sorry.
You're Goldbluming.
Goldbluming? I don't know what that means.
He comes with a sand base, which I thought was fine, but there's human-shaped footprints in it, so I'm wondering if this was just repurposed from another figure that was made around the same time for the same series. Maybe even it was a Mandalorian one, since he meets him going after Grogu like that. I try to give them cool action poses or something that would look good standing up on the shelf. He just looks like he's standing straight, but it's an IG unit. That's what they do, so we're just gonna roll with it. Got the rifle, pulse rifle, I think. I don't know the actual name, but I do know, I'm sure everyone knows, the E-11 Stormtrooper blaster, which actually looks like it might be a little bit different. The bottom looks more like the DH-17 that the clones used, but I'm pretty positive it's an E-11 with this iconic muzzle here. Alright, just a second ago I said that it looked more like the DH-17 with the thing on the bottom. What I didn't realize is that is a fold-out buttstock. Sorry, it's a little difficult to do with one hand. Sorry for making you dizzy. That is just a super cool detail that doesn't need to exist. I mean, an IG-11 doesn't need a buttstock. He's not going to be victim to the recoil. But that is so cool, the fact that they did it and pulled it off, and it looks that awesome. I have to leave it out just because it looks that great. With the articulation of the fingers and the finger joint going, we even have, come on, focus. We even have a finger inside the trigger guard. That is awesome. There's the pulse rifle in the hand. Once again, finger in the trigger guard. The forearm rotates back and forth, so you can get really cool poses out of them. I absolutely love that tiny detail. You can see all of his eyes lit up, and you can see the thermal detonator blinking on his chest. That is fantastic. I thought this was going to be a basic one. I got it because he was a cool character. Taika Waititi did a great job with the voice. They did a really good job giving a droid an arc where he goes from enemy to caretaker to friend. He saves Din Djarin and he sacrifices himself. They did a lot with this droid in a little bit of time, and now he's back as the Marshal of Navarro. Now look at this. This is, the detail is so cool. I'm so excited about this one. If you watched my last one, I was a little bit disappointed with the armor and the quality, and this one and the Boba Fett I did before that more than make up for it. These hoses are not molded plastic. They are plastic, but they're not molded to the body. Everything's independent. You can see it coming. You can see it coming down the leg, and it's movable. This is excellent. I am really impressed with this one. The metallic finish on the plastic body is very convincing. It's weathered, it's a little bit rough. It really gets me inspired to get back in my garage and paint some 3D printed props. But first, we gotta get this guy up on the shelf. There he is, IG-11, looking awesome. Super impressed by that. That one really brightened my day. The Grogu that was there, if you've watched these in the past, fell broke the arm off my Bo-Katan Iron Studios, which really sucks. I gotta redo this off, it's a mess, but for now, super psyched about the IG-11, another great one by Sideshow Collectibles. This is not a paid video. I wish it was. Maybe one day, maybe we'll get there. Was I not recording that entire time? Alright, so I learned something new about my camera, and I learned it the hard way. First, I learned when I was making videos and the battery dies, that recording does not just cut off when the battery dies, it's gone forever. Then I learned when your memory card fills up, for some reason, it doesn't keep the data that got it to full, it deletes the entire recording. So most of the unboxing of this awesome Hot Toy 1/6 scale armorer is lost. I was gonna have one for the armor, one for the IG-11 that you just watched, 2 separate videos spread over 2 weeks, but that's out the window because this one is gonna be a little bit unconventional. I thought I would just put the two together so we can move on. As always, the incredible artwork. This is not a picture from the series, this is a picture of the statue. Beyond cool. Everything Sideshow always comes so incredibly well packed, there is no danger of it getting damaged in shipping. There was plastic around the head, around the cape, around the belt, on the hands, the forearms, and the feet up to the knees to keep the package before we take it out. It also came with this really cool backdrop, and I was on the fence about using it or not. My shelves are getting pretty full. The Ahsoka one's kind of cool, but it looks more out of place since no one around her has it. And the Lando one is actually working. He's up here kind of on his own. He's not too crammed into other people, and the background is a lot smaller. So that one really sets the stage. One thought that I did have, which would be pretty cool, would be to get the actor to sign the backdrop so then I can have the signature with the character on the wall. Here is the armor. It's all done. It's all unboxed, and the box is in the attic. I thought about digging it out, putting everything back where it was, and faking it, but that seemed, 1, unnecessary, and 2, disingenuous. So we're just going to do a quick review of it. Don't get me wrong, the quality's still there. I mean, everything looks good. The finish looks really nice. You can see the detail on the plastic that makes it look like metal. It's real fabric for the sleeves, real fabric for where it changes. This is a hard plastic, not real leather, but the skirt feels like a leather. The pants are a different fabric from the shirt, and of course the boots is like the soft leather over the plastic boot itself. She did come with other things. One of the Beskar slabs that Din Djarin was paid in that she molded into his armor, it came with a in-progress chest piece so you could set her up working on it. I thought her iconic things with the arms crossed with the tools was the way to go. Unfortunately, the arms can't hug the chest. There's a bit of space between. From a distance, it doesn't look too bad. I have it up on the top shelf, so it ultimately is fine. Another small thing is the statue itself, the figure itself, is a lot lighter than any other one on that wall, and I have a decent sized collection now. It's the lightest one by far, and I don't really care about that aspect so much, but it just feels a little cheaper. And I hate to use that word when it comes to Sideshow Collectibles. Sorry, the cat is going insane right now. I did like the base, but the base again is a lot lighter. I was afraid it was gonna fall when I first set it up. It has a stand that punches into the floor of the base. The floor of the base is a grid. You can kind of put it wherever you want, but given the size of the base and the size of the statue, you're just gonna stand her up. There's not a whole lot of dynamic posing going on there. I find it's hard to get her to stand straight up. She's either leaning too far back, too far forward. It looks a little bit off. It's very small, minor things, but I'm being that meticulous because of the cost of these and because of the standard that they've set with all of these. I will say, when it's up on the shelf, it's kind of all forgotten about. I look up at it, it looks cool. Her arms are crossed above her chest. She's got the tools, she's got the cool iconic helmet. She's a great character in the show. I really like her. I don't regret buying it. I'm glad I got it on sale. If this was a pre-order where I paid full price and I didn't get as part of their Black Friday sale with a bundle, I would be a little bit more deflated about it. Still not quite regretting because it does look cool. It's a cool collector's piece. It's just a little strange that this is the one they seem to cut some corners on. Maybe she wasn't that popular of a figure. I hope this little quick review and catch up makes up for my camera completely screwing me over. From now on, I will make sure the memory cards are dumped before I start recording. I got a plug so the power issue is no longer a problem. Check out this video next to jump back into Star Wars lore.